see that you're ready to die. They telling me that I'm bully. I'm Edison, made it fully. They say that I'm a healer, but how am I a healer when I'm a f***ing nigga?
Alright, hello. We got a new camera. See, if you're not a Kanye fan, you've probably seen his newest song. Now, mind you, it's 100% not AI. He even posted it on his actual channel and made a new Spotify account to post it on. Aside from that, before it was even released, he posted it on his Twitter. Now, he's always been, you know, kind of weird, but you know, it really kind of just started off being a little more like that 3 years ago in 2020 on an Alex Jones interview. I have no clue who that guy is, but it's where the clip of this comes from.
Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially him.
I guess he was trying to, you know, defend himself not being a whatever, and then he said that. I guess to me, it's probably a more known clip of him, of, you know, the stuff he's done. I know there's a lot of more stuff that happened in between that, but you know, fast forward to the next year, 2023, Kanye and Ty Dollar Sign, you know, the freak guy, they decided to work on a collab album, and that was called Vultures. You know, when this was announced, I mean, every single Kanye fan, including me, was tweaking out, because you know, there wasn't an album in a long time, and aside from that, all of his music sucks. So you know, it was pretty cool. And one of the main reasons why everyone was pretty excited was because of they had released a snippet of one of the songs, Everybody. When you first hear it, it sounds beautiful. It was a sample from the Backstreet Boys, and I mean, once again, the song, it's beautiful, it's amazing. It sounded like fire, but
Okay, you the king, Burger King.
you know, and then around 4 days after that was announced, they had some private listening parties where they played the song. You know, Kanye started yapping about Burger King and a whole lot of other stupid stuff. He had one good verse in between that, and then, you know, then Ty starts going on about his least freakiest verse ever.
Breaking news!
So, the middle of making this video, whole Kanye stuff happened, the cousin stuff. I guess all I'm gonna say for now, it's kind of weird. It's weird, but I don't know how to explain it, because it is bad, 100%. But at the same time, we shouldn't be bashing him for it, because he's venting. I don't know, okay? You know, for months, people kept memeing the stupid Burger King line, because it was stupid. But, you know, I mean, it was still a decent song. The sample was good. It was just Kanye was just he must have been on some. So now the album was supposed to be released on December 15th, but then, you know, it got pushed back to the 23rd of January because, I mean, the Backstreet Boys wouldn't want the guy who does especially hit to sample their song, or probably some other stuff like that. I don't really know. And so, anyways, boom, a month later, January 23rd, Kanye decides he's not making one album, but 3 of them. Vultures 1, 2, 3. Now, it's what, 2025 now? I had to think about that. 2025 now. It's a year later, and we only have 2 out of the 3 albums, and the newest one, we'll talk about that later. Now, anyways, he announced each date for all the songs, and they were all a month or two spread out. So, you know, people were excited because 3 Kanye albums in 1 year. People love Kanye. Now, you know, let's do another fast forward to the day that Vultures 1 was supposed to release. You know, everyone, once again, including me, woke up on that day. I don't have it written down on this thing. I don't know where it was. I can't find it. Anyways, everyone kind of just woke up and they checked. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then people kept checking. I kept checking. I know that. I checked a lot. It wasn't there. And then now let's fast forward again to the day that Vultures 1 was supposed to release. I woke up. I checked it. It wasn't there. That's how everyone woke up as well who was excited about the album. And, you know, people must have thought it was going to be in the studio, you know, stuff like that. And then finally, the next day, it releases. Now, when it finally released, there was one song missing off it, and that was Everybody, the one song people were, really excited about. But I listened to the album, and it was I gave it, a 7 out of 10. It has some, super good songs, but, also, some, horrible songs. One of those good songs being Carnival, but I haven't heard that song in, years, just because of the stupid, tic-tac thing. That was bad. That was bad. You know, because people switch up, you know, that fast from being one of the best songs on the album to one of the worst because it was overplayed. So I guess, I don't know. since the second release date of Vultures 1 was, it was only a day late, people were excited because, there's more stuff to look forward to, and that was Vultures 2, which is coming out the next month. Now, because, once again, I myself am a Kanye fan, I woke up on March 8th, I looked for the album, and it wasn't there. I checked Spotify, wasn't there. I checked everywhere, it just wasn't there. And then I woke up the next day, checked again, and I kept doing that. And then finally, a new release date was announced, May 3rd. So, I stopped checking every day and, actually, had stuff to do in my life aside from that. And then May 3rd came around, and it wasn't there. And then after a whole bunch of delays and just nothing, it finally releases on August 3rd. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know it released. I've only listened to, 2 songs on it, and it's, Field Trip, which is, a pretty decent song. And then Sky City, which sucks. Now, when I first, heard Sky City before release on Vultures 2, it was supposed to release on this other album, Yandi, I don't know if I'm saying it right. Anyways, it was supposed to release on that album, and it sounded beautiful. There was 80 different variations of it, but it was like a top tier song. So when I heard it on Vultures 2, it was a sad moment for all Kanye fans out there. Anyway, let's backtrack a little bit to February 11th. It's a whole bunch of months later. I'm not doing all that kind. Kanye releases this ad where he's like, oh, we didn't have the budget to pay for an ad for the Super Bowl, so I have to record it. Anyways, go to Yeezy.com. Let's go back to the current times that we were on, the day that Vultures 2 released, August 3rd. 4 days after that, Kanye's former chief and staff, Milo, accused Kanye's dentist, Dr. Thomas Conley, or whatever, Conley? I'm not saying all that. And he accused his doctor that he was supplying Kanye with nitrous for recreational use. And basically, nitrous, it just gives you a quick high, makes you laugh and all that. It takes away some of the pain. That's what it's usually used for. But like any drug, the more you do of it, you start to develop an addiction. Now, Milo, Kanye's former chief, even showed some messages between Kanye and his doctor, where he was asking for more nitrous. But wait, there's more. Backtrack to January. Once again, Kanye starts getting this titanium teeth for some reason. And, it kind of gives him a lisp. He talks like this, and it sounds retarded. Now, there was a lot of songs on Vultures 2 that made Kanye sound like he was using AI or a robot. And Sky City is one of them. So then, it was pretty accused of Kanye using AI for his songs. And I'm pretty sure he even admitted to it. I didn't research that much. I'm not doing all that. Sorry. But I can guarantee it's probably AI. It sounds like AI. Now, throughout the rest of 2024, there was a lot of more of the same stuff that kind of happened, and this is where Kanye started building up all the brain rot stuff that you see now. I do have a video on that. I'm not going to explain it here. If you just... Whoa. Now, we're back to 2025, more recent times. February 2nd, Kanye and his wife, Bianca, they were on the Grammys, right? They were showing off their outfits, and if you remember what happened, then you know what happened. Bianca, she seemed to be wearing some type of, fur coat thing, and then takes it off, and it was just like a piece of cloth, man. That was it. Now, shortly after, they did leave, but there was a lot of stupid. Shortly after they left, and all the Gooners loved it, but it was pretty weird for them to be doing this in a public place where there's probably 100% some kids there. Now, they did do stunts like this before, but this was the most, this is the worst ever. And shortly after, a little bit, they pretty sure they're divorced now. But boom, then once again, Kanye starts going on his, yearly Twitter rants. And this one was pretty bad, He starts talking about his love for Hitler and hate for Jewish people. He even disrespected one of his dead friends, Virgil, which isn't really good at all. But now let's start going into more most recent times, a month or couple of weeks time span. Kanye on Twitter releases this snippet where he's like, oh, I can't go to sleep without letting you guys hear this. And it's, the song that we heard in the beginning, World War III. And you heard the song, at the beginning, it sounds pretty nice, it sounds like Kanye finally got off the nitrous. But, then he starts talking about some very interesting stuff. Alongside with this, he also finally released his newest album, Bully. And the song sucks. I've listened to some of them. It just sounds like a whole lot of AI. I'm not listening to that whole thing. I'm sorry. Now I'm pretty confused on this. Apparently, I'm pretty sure he's releasing another album. I think it's titled like World War III or something like that, and he showed off some of the songs that are on it, and these songs, like, it is just a whole bunch of just like Nazi stuff. One of the songs, he just like the picture of the chorus is just him saying like how. So yeah, I don't really know what's happening there. So you know Kanye's always been controversial and all this stuff, but now I guess he's even more controversial, and he's just being weird. So I guess if you enjoyed this, subscribe, and if you didn't, I don't know, share it to a friend who might. Anyways, I guess I'll see you.
I don't care. Tell him, because I'm not even gonna be here. I'm gonna run away and no one will ever see me again.